This is Isabel Lerma from Lerma Words of Healing, and you're listening to Heartbreak Anonymous, the podcast that helps those suffering from grief or heartbreak reclaim a life of vitality and get to self-healing gratitude. Today, we're talking about sex, part 2, and heartbreak. Let's explore all the safe ways to explore sex, such as masturbation and your fetishes. Let's talk and subscribe for more episodes of Heartbreak Anonymous. In our last episode, we talked about casual sex. We talked about some of the drawbacks of casual sex, some of them being STDs or STIs or pregnancy, things that you have to think about and be wary about when you're introducing another person into your life in a sexual manner. But what if you could get the benefits of sex in a more safe way, in a way that doesn't involve another person? And that's where I want to bring up masturbation. Now, I understand that there are some spiritual or religious beliefs around masturbation. I'm just going to talk about it from a scientific point of view, which is that sex is very important for human beings. We have a biological drive for it. And sometimes we can be ruled or can succumb to these hormonal urges that we have and not be objective. If you're trying to use alcohol or any other mind-altering substances, you may not be able to be making these decisions with a clear mind. So, masturbation is a very healthy way to express yourself sexually, get to know yourself, as well as get the benefits of sex, or a lot of the benefits of sex, such as the endorphin, the dopamine, even the oxytocin. It's self-love. So just understanding that and understanding yourself and your body is, I think, a very healthy way to understand what is pleasure for you and what is pain. And I think also when you're going through heartbreak, I know it can be very tempting to get lost in the sea of wanting to be desired and wanting to be attracted to the opposite sex. And so one of the ways that I do see this kind of playing out is that usually in times of heartbreak and you're exploring yourself sexually, BDSM can kind of come into play. And if people don't know what BDSM is, it's bondage, sadomasochism. It's a lot of fetishes and kinks that is maybe portrayed on television or in mainstream movies and books as not exactly the way it was intended to be. And so if you are in the process of figuring out whether you're into certain kinks or fetishes, for example, 50 Shades of Grey, everybody knows 50 Shades of Grey. I remember when it first came out, I just couldn't believe that it was sold out everywhere, and it just really helped drive this hype. And when I read it, I really felt like it was a Cinderella story with BDSM in it, one of the core things that really concerned some of the people that were reading this and was afraid for the popularity of it, because they said it didn't portray a true BDSM lifestyle, because BDSM really centers on consent. And I think understanding that, because I think in the realm of role play and even how it's portrayed, it can get lost in it. But when you have someone that's considered the dominant or the submissive, in a real BDSM relationship, the power lies with the submissive. It's the submissive that allows the dominant to do that. So for me, it's a very interesting way to really see these certain roles that we all have in ourselves, both the masculine and the feminine, and so I think BDSM is a really safe way if you have trust and respect with a partner and a lot of communication, including consent, and you're able to talk about these things. These are ways that you can safely explore this. And before getting into that, this is why I'm going to stress that, again, masturbation is really key, because it's how you learn. You have to learn yourself before you can teach somebody else or be able to tell somebody else what it is that you like and what you want. It really starts with you. And especially as women, we're really the ones in charge of our orgasms. And, for men, I used to be very jealous of men. I always thought, wow, it's so easy for them. In my head, it felt like it was so easy for men to have orgasms, and that most women, didn't seem to have it. But that's actually not true. Women can have multiple orgasms, but the woman really it's 90% on the woman's side. It's like we have to be able to really be in tune with ourselves, with our femininity, with our expression, with our love, our self-love for ourselves, to be able to really enjoy into that energy exchange. And so I think, like I said, it really starts with that, with self-love. And I hope that, you do consider that if you are going through heartbreak and, you're just not sure whether you're ready to jump into a relationship or even explore yourself casually, sexually with other people. One of the first things you can do is a lot of self-care, a lot of self-love, and that includes pleasing yourself. And that could be with masturbation, and masturbation can involve toys as well. And there's lots of things in the market. I'm just going to talk about my favorite one that I tell every woman to get, and it is the Cadillac vibrators or massagers, and it's the Hitachi Magic Wand. And it's very powerful. I would say that it's you may even need to use it over clothes, because it's that powerful. But it really can give you a very unique experience if you've never experienced that kind of orgasm before. And so you'll see that as a woman, you have many different types of orgasms, body orgasms, etc. And so can men too. Men can also have this thing, this kind of tantric like sex as well. But for women, because we don't have as much recovery time, and sometimes I feel like I get more energized after sex. In fact, my partner would say something like that I'm stealing his energy, I'm taking his energy, because I'm like, oh, afterwards I just want to go do something, and or go do more. so in whatever aspect you are exploring yourself in this way, I would say be safe, protect yourself, be objective, be really clear. And I, of course, will always encourage you to use the vehicle of writing. Write it out. Write out what is your fantasy. What is something that you've always wanted to explore? And then manage any fears around that. How can you make sure it's in a safe space? Is it with someone you can bring in that you can trust, that respects your boundaries? Did you guys do some research around whatever it is that you are wanting to do, such as, safe words? Do you guys have a safe word? Is this somebody that respects, again, your boundary if you say the safe word? Is there, for example, if you're doing something in the realm of, say, choking, I would recommend that you look up how to do that and practice on yourself first before you do that on somebody else, because you can actually really hurt somebody by doing that. So there are really a lot of things that you can do to go ahead and do this research and really find out. And again, understand that before you just jump into something like this, make sure the person that you're in is in the same place that you're in, and that they're not going to cross a line or a boundary that you're not going to be comfortable with, because that's kind of what the fetish is about. It's like doing things that are kind of considered taboo, kind of crossing the line. And like I said, it can seem very titillating on screen, can seem very titillating on paper as you're reading, but experiencing it can be a different thing, especially if it's not with someone who you don't have good communication with, you don't have trust and respect with. And again, that's very, very key in all relationships, all kinds of relationships. So again, start with yourself. Love yourself. I had a really great time talking with you guys today. I can't wait to talk to you guys in our next episode next week. We'll be talking about the heartbreak syndrome. Please subscribe for more, follow along, and contact me if you want a discovery call to figure out and find out more about therapeutic writing and the Lerma therapeutic writing method, you can see me at lermawordsofhealing.com. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Catch us next week at heartbreakanonymous.com. My name is Isabel Lerma. Keep writing, and I'll talk to you soon.